famous country road winds through the Ardennes region of Belgium and offers some of the most challenging bends in motorsport.
Thank you very much, Murray, and welcome back to the F199 career mode. So apologies, I have been away for a few weeks, but I'm back again. So going into the race, there is our championship table. Irvine has a nice 15-point lead from me in second, Hakkinen 11 points behind, so quite interesting at the top end. And you know, quite tight in the constructors as well, with quite a few of the teams. So going to qualifying up Eau Rouge, that's ready on actually, and going on the Camel Straight, and we get blocked off by one of the Benettons here, so our lap is already gone, but we'll complete the lap, and we'll go on to the next lap, and something even worse was to happen, but we've got a time on the board. We're in 15th. But as we go through Les Combes, we're back at that same Benetton, and well, we'll watch what happens here. Yeah, I've done a Michael Schumacher. I've completely lost my wheel and trying to drive around on three wheels, so it's quite a big impact there. But thankfully this is a time in F1 where you were allowed spare cars, so we've got no wheel there. Try go into Pouhon and straight into the barrier. Quite lucky it didn't do any additional damage, but we'll skip on to lap 5. And pretty much this was the whole story of qualifying. It was just traffic kept coming across them, because now we've got the Saubers, and we've rear-ended a Sauber, and I think I'd also do it again on this lap. So it happens quite a few times where I'm driving and I end up hitting the back of another car in qualifying. So I've gone off the track into the barrier, but when I go to start my next lap, I hit another Sauber. Thankfully no damage, because I've only, you know, this is my last car. I've already wrecked the race car. I'm on the spare car at the moment. Start another lap, we go through La Source, turn in a little bit too early, so hit the inside barrier, and going down towards Eau Rouge. I cannot speak today for some reason. And we've got past one of the Saubers, now we need to get past the other one, but we're going to get a nice slipstream here up the straight, and I'm going to have to pass him into Les Combes, but he's getting very defensive. It's like it's the final lap of the race. And as we go into the corner, he's turned into me, whacked me up the side, and really in the wars with everyone in qualifying today. So, but thankfully it didn't do any damage as we go through the right-hander towards the corner with no name, as Martin Brundle likes to call it. Go towards Pouhon, flat out in this game if you get your line right, but very tricky. You know, if you go just that little bit too wide, you're straight in the barrier. So get to the end of sector 2, 1.6 seconds up on David Coulthard. So despite this being a pretty terrible lap, it looks like it's going to be provisional pole as we go through Stavelot towards Blanchimont. Another, you know, very easy flat out on this game. As we get past two more cars, nearly got hit by the Minardi there, but we haven't lost any speed or any time. We go into the old bus stop, the old left-right, right-left chicane. So you can really carry so much speed there, but I've hit the wall. And as I said, this is an absolute appalling lap, but it will be good enough to get provisional pole. I wasn't happy with that lap, so I thought I'd go for another time. And as we go to the end of the lap, towards the bus stop, so this lap's been a lot cleaner than the previous one. It's through the bus stop, past the Benetton, out of the bus stop, over the start finish line. This is a massive improvement on my time, and it's an extra 1.6 seconds. We go to Murray Walker and the grid.
Takes fifth. In sixth spot, Eddie Irvine. Hakkinen takes the seventh. Ralph Juna is eighth. Damon Hill is ninth. Taramosuke Takagi Mikasal is the 17th. Will start 10th. Pedro de la Rosa is 11th. Luca Badoa sits in the 12th. In 13th place, Jean Alesi. Jarno Trulli takes 14th. Giancarlo Fisichella starts in 15th. 16th place for Miguel. This is 17th. 17th for Alexander Burks. Olivier Panis, 18th. 19th, Alessandro Zanardi. Pedro Diniz starts 20th. 21st is going to be Ricardo Zonta. And starting right at the back will be Marc Genet.
Murray wasn't sounding very well there, kept getting all messed up with positions, and actually turned out I didn't get any Murray Walker commentary during this race other than at the red lights, which we'll go to now. So we're underway, and for once I actually retained the lead off the initial getaway as we go towards La Source. Turning Jacques Villeneuve, last of the late breakers there, and Villeneuve has taken the lead as I drop down to 4th. So Coulthard and Irvine got by as we go down the hill towards Eau Rouge and Radion, and get 3rd position back. Good run up the hill in the slipstream of the McLaren, and much better launch out of the corner into 2nd place as we go chasing Jacques Villeneuve, the 97 world champion. Very rare to see him back in the lead at this moment here as we go into Les Combes, and I think it's best just to hold back as we go through there and down into the long downhill right-hander. Car always wants to understeer here, so just got to be careful how you do that corner as we get a much better run out the corner with No Name in towards Pouron, and we're in the lead and going through Pouron for the first time. So we get a nice good turn in there, and looking behind, it's all go behind us for 2nd place. We've got about 3 cars fighting there: Jacques Villeneuve, David Coulthard and Eddie Irvine, and somewhere amongst this as we go towards the end of the lap, the other McLaren, Mika Hakkinen, somehow gets in there as we go through Blanchimont for the first time. 44 lap race, so this one will go by very quickly to go into the bus stop. So done that quite nicely. Going to cross over the start finish line to start lap number 2, and we'll get a quick look at the order. So it will be myself in 1st, 2nd place is Coulthard, 3rd Irvine, Villeneuve is 4th, Hakkinen 5th, Hill 6th, and Ralf Schumacher and Herbert complete the top 8. But it's still all go for 2nd place behind us, so who is going to come out on top of that as we see Eddie Irvine sets the fastest lap on the first lap. As we're still looking behind us, one of them really swerving there, one of the McLaren's blocking their teammate, as we get Luca Badoa and Rubens Barrichello retiring in the early stages. Might not be a bad thing, because Rubens Barrichello always seems to be a thorn in my side in this game as we go through the corner. So still quite an interesting scrap for 2nd place, which Mika Hakkinen does get at the front. But we'll go back to a replay of the start here. So decent getaway by myself, but as you'll see here with Jacques Villeneuve really late braking there. Great move for the lead as I drop down into 4th, and going down the hill, got a good run on the Ferrari. Going to get past Eddie Irvine, through Eau Rouge and Radion, past Mika Hakkinen. So we'll skip a little bit later to the move for the lead as going towards the corner with No Name, just get a much better exit, just get a much more drive into the lead as we'll go back to the action. So we're going to skip to lap 4 here. So Mika Hakkinen and myself broke away a little bit from the front pack, and I was thinking at this stage, was this going to be a bit like the Hungarian race where myself and Irvine just pulled away from everybody, as we see Mika Hakkinen is set a 1:34.0, so on lap 3 he's already doing faster than my pole position time, so pace is incredible from that McLaren. To go through the Rivage, you're going to skip it to lap 6, or lap 5 I should say, heading towards lap 6, so Mika Hakkinen still giving me the hurry up as we go towards Blanchimont, and really cannot afford to make any mistakes here, because you know Mika Hakkinen just needs half a chance and he will take it. To go through the bus stop there, not my best way through it, but I've got a decent lead here as we go over the start finish line. Going to be braking for La Source, and Mika Hakkinen has rear-ended me, pushed me into the barrier. There's a bit of a dirty move there for the lead, but he's done it. So it'll be Hakkinen for myself, Irvine, Coulthard, Hill and Ralf Schumacher are the top 6. So I think the stewards might be having a look at that, because there was no way he was going to get into that corner without hitting me, as Coulthard sits fastest at 1:33.0. So you go to a replay here of what happened. So coming through Stavelot towards Blanchimont, you can see how close Mika Hakkinen is as we go through. He's about a car length behind, going towards the bus stop. So as I said, I couldn't afford to make a mistake. So into the bus stop. Mika Hakkinen also made a little bit of a mistake there. But as we go over the start finish line, you can see I'm a couple of car lengths ahead of the McLaren, braking for the first corner, and he just does a dive bomb that doesn't work. He just pushes me wide and takes the lead. But anyway, so we're going to skip to lap 9. So we go through Pouhon, and Eddie Irvine seems to have found a bit of speed now, so he's looking for second place as we go into the chicane, and he's pushed me wide. So AI are getting really physical in this race. Eddie Irvine takes second place, but can I get it back? The answer to that is no at the moment, but I do have his slipstream going up towards Blanchimont and the bus stop. Will I be able to think about a move going into that chicane? It's quite difficult because of AI is so good at braking on this game. So towards the bus stop, and I was thinking about it and I bailed out, but I bailed out too late, and so I've had to shortcut the bus stop there. Thankfully the pit lane entry is a bit weird on at Spa at the time, where you just completely missed out the bus stop, but it did cause quite a few accidents. Remember back to the 99 Grand Prix, that terrible crash Fisichella had, that happened at the pit lane entry. But anyway, moving on, going on to lap 11, so still kept fairly close to Eddie Irvine as we go through the first corner down the hill, but David Coulthard's he's next up with a bit of speed in that McLaren as we climb up the hill, and not really got the best drive through there, and that McLaren, most powerful engine on the game, and it looks like he's going to take a lead. He's going to take third place off of me here, but he's spazzing out a bit. Not really too sure what was happening there with Coulthard. Enough to put me off, and I've dropped down to 4th. So this race is now turning into a bit of a disaster. You know, starting on pole and just slipping back now. But anyway, lap 18. So lapped the Minardi of Marc Genet. And next up, Damon Hill's going to be having a look at us, but his speed was absolutely insane here. So as you saw there, he's about a good 5 car lengths back. I've got an okay run through this corner, and he's right on me. So what on earth is happening with Damon Hill's speed here? He's just caught up so much as we go towards Stavelot. Not the best of runs through there, but you know, it was okay. But Damon Hill just got past me with absolute ease here, so am I actually carrying a problem with that contact that I had with Mika Hakkinen? I'm not really too sure, but Damon Hill's pace was to be absolutely insane once he got past me. It's you know, pulling away about 2 to 4 seconds a lap at one point. So we go over the start finish line now. We've got our top 5. Ralf Schumacher for 1 and 6. So I've got a Minardi up my inside, and that Minardi's going to pass me going up the hill. So we go towards Eau Rouge and Radion, and there we go. Marc Genet has got past me in the Minardi. So this is embarrassing. But we get past him again going up the hill. So I'm starting to think I've got a bit of a problem if I can't pull away from a Minardi, as make a bit of a mistake here. So maybe that contact with Mika Hakkinen did do a lot worse than what I realised. But moving on, as I said, Damon Hill's pace, you can just see how much he's gaining each lap. You know, 4, 6, 10 seconds And this is the lap that Damon Hill actually pits. So he passed me on lap 18. I'm about to go on to lap 23. And Damon Hill has actually pitted. He's going to come out in front of me. So briefly went up to 4th on the screen, but back down to 5th. So Damon Hill's already made his pit stop. And I've still got to make mine. But I suppose with Spa on this game, the pit lane is so short. You barely lose any time when you make a pit stop, as I come in for mine. You've got to really thread the eye of the needle as you come into this pit lane. It's so narrow as we get on the speed limiter, and we're going to do our one and only stop of the race here. So it's very short pit lane. Just get it refueled, get it back out, and there we go. We're going to rejoin now. It'll probably cost you around about 10 seconds on this game just to make a pit stop at Spa, so you know, maybe something like a 2-stop strategy possibly could have worked as we carry on up the hill. So at the beginning I said Luca Badoa and Rubens Barrichello were the retirements on lap 1, but we didn't get any retirements until we got to the pit stop stage after that. So Villeneuve and Panis have gone. And it was around about now the reliability problems started coming in. But unfortunately, none of them were for the leaders, so I had to pass them out on track as go to lap 25 here, just getting past one of the arrows as we go towards La Source. But I braked too hard here, and I sort of half spun it round the corner and lost that position to the arrows, so this race is sort of going from bad to worse. So we carry on. We've got past the arrows. We're now lapping Ricardo Zonta's BAR. That's pretty much what happened for the rest of the race. A lot of it was just lapping back markers, but some of the moves are quite good, like where I overtook a Benetton, which we'll see later on. As we've got just going through the list of retirements, but talking about Benettons, one of them was to retire just around the corner, which was Alex Wirtz, I believe it was. So got the yellow flag. There's a smoking Benetton. Didn't need a safety car on that one. Lap 27, got more back markers to pass. So this one's Johnny Herbert, and he did prove quite difficult as I got past him going into La Source, and he's instantly overtaken me again. AI are just so strong in that corner. They can just do a really tight line and do it really quickly. We go down the hill towards Eau Rouge and Radion, and hit the back of Johnny Herbert, came up his inside. That sounds so wrong that I said that. I'm keeping that in. I'm not going to edit that out. But yeah, rear-ended Johnny Herbert, but thankfully no damage. So moving on here, we've got Alex Zanardi's Williams that we're going to pass. But again, going into La Source, just look how late they brake. He's made a little bit of contact and he briefly gets in front, but I will repass him as we go down the hill. So just no way I could keep up with the AI in that corner. They're just ridiculously strong. Lap 32. Now this is that pass that I mentioned on the Benetton going into Pouhon. This is an absolutely incredible move that I do as we just go in there, just thread the eye of the needle and get through. Although was that actually a Sauber that I passed? I've got a very tiny screen, so quite hard to tell who exactly I'm overtaking at times. Anyway, lap 43, so leaders are going on the final lap of the race, and Eddie Irvine is missing from the timing screen. Has something happened to that Ferrari on the last lap? And am I about to get a little bit of good luck for once in this race? I suppose I've had good luck throughout the rest of the season with retirements going my way. But as we go further down into the final lap, as the leaders are about to cross the finish line, they're just going through the bus stop, crossing the finish line. It's actually Eddie Irvine that wins, so for some reason it didn't appear on the timing screens at the start of the last lap, but he is actually the winner, and that's probably the worst thing that could have happened. So he's going to get the full 10 points, I'm only going to get 2, and that actually means he can win the championship at the next round in Italy. It is quite unlikely that he will, but it is possible for him to do it. So if he if he can win the Grand Prix in Italy and win the World Championship, he's going to be absolutely worshipped by the Tifosi. If you go through the final chicane, over the start-finish line to 5th place, not my best race, but I suppose we have to have bad races every now and then. So Irvine, Hakkinen, Coulthard, Hill, myself and Ralf Schumacher were your point scorers today, and there's your full classification. So we'll have a look at what that does to the championship. So Eddie Irvine has gone up to 77 points, so as we said, he could win the championship at the next round in Italy. I go to 54. Mika Häkkinen's caught me up. He's only 7 points behind, which is what I really don't need. Coulthard has finally passed Michael Schumacher. Of course, Michael Schumacher has been out since Silverstone. Ralf Schumacher is 6th with 19. Barrichello is 7th with 17, and Damon Hill is 1 point behind him. So it's a good result for Damon Hill there. So I've got 3 rounds left after this. So Eddie Irvine, if he wins the next race and I don't score, he can win the World Championship in Italy. Going over to the Constructors' Championship now. So Ferrari have got 109 points, followed by McLaren, who have 78. Jordan just 8 points behind with 70. Williams have 20. Stewart have 19. BAR have 10, and Sauber with 4, followed by Benetton. I do apologise for the shadows that are on the screen. I'm not sure how I actually get rid of them. I'm still getting a bit used to this editing software, but hopefully you may have preferred the championship table being presented like that. So next race is Monza in Italy, so right in front of the Tifosi. Can Eddie Irvine get that dream win for Ferrari and get the championship? Be absolutely fantastic if that does happen. It is one of my stronger tracks, so I'm hoping that's not the case, but we don't know what's going to happen. So we've got Italy, like I said, I think that's quite a strong race. Nürburgring's quite a strong race. And then we've got Malaysia, first Malaysian Grand Prix. I'm a bit unsure about that. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And Suzuka, which is not one of my strong tracks. So, you know, I might be able to claw some points back in here. But with Eddie Irvine having such a large lead now, you know, I think he's got one hand on the trophy. But I'll do everything I can to stop him. But I've also got to be aware Mika Häkkinen's been catching me up as well. So, you know, this, you know, I might not even get second place in this championship. I know I'm definitely going to finish in the top 3, but oh well, you know, just got to try my best. Hopefully, things might fall in my favour. But you know, make sure you hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next time for the Italian Grand Prix in Monza.